So looking at the hall today, I will say the President of Nigeria, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, chosen by the people of Nigeria, elected by the people of Nigeria, even from the lead speaker, INEC owes you a lot of explanations. Because he pointed out that nobody should ask you a question as to how you won your election. That wasn't a problem between you, and some people still believe Peter Obi, whereas Peter Obi was third. So I think people tend to think that the party that came second was PDP. No, PDP went down, down, down. I think the issue actually, yeah, I think Peter Obi was third. Am I right? So why do people think that Labour did well? How could they have done well when they were third? They were third. Labour was third. So when they say, okay, don't ask the president a question, don't ask Peter Obi, they seem to forget that the person who actually contested and took second was His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. If everybody forgets him, I won't forget him. Because he was vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he took second in that election. So INEC, from what the elite speaker has said, must explain to us how you will lose election in Lagos during the presidential election. And Lagos is your base. And like Mr. Fowler was trying to explain, the policies you put in place in Lagos is what has made Lagos the biggest growing economy in West Africa for a city. The biggest. He was trying to point out that even in terms of revenue generation, you made 600 million a month. But by the time you met the internally generated revenue autonomous, you brought in autonomy that even the House of Assembly did not understand when you said they must become autonomous. You were then able to put the parameters in place that today Lagos is getting almost 59 billion a month. Is it not possible for Nigeria? So whatever we are hearing today is not new. It's the fact that you have the right set of people to implement. You have a senator as president, you have a senator as vice president, and you have a senator as senate president, and a former governor for that matter. So I'm happy that you have listened. I've taken notes for you, and I will come to the villa so that we discuss all the issues that have been laid out today. So, our dear President, in fact, one of the other explanations that INEC will make to you is how we will win all the federal house seats in Ebonyi State. And we won the 3 Senate seats in Ebonyi State, and they said that you did not get 25%. APC won all the federal house seats, national chairman of the party. APC won all the federal house seats in Ebonyi State. We also won the 3 Senate seats in Ebonyi State. But in the final count for you, they said you didn't get 25%. So how did we win all those seats? And they gave out 350-something thousand votes to Labour Party, even though it did not help them. So I can't, but I sat down there, I was, my mind was saying that myself and the chairman of the Constitutional Review, Barao, must go back to discuss these papers. And I hope that our dear senior advocate of Nigeria, Olisa Abakoba, will give us a written paper. If you don't give us, we'll transcribe from what we have recorded here. But we would like a written paper to discuss. Because this is the kind of paper that will stimulate the mind of Professor Ozekome. Ozekome, stand up, let the president know you are here and you were listening. I thank you. So in reality, sir, we have achieved the essence of our meeting here. First, this is a national gathering. The president is here. The Speaker of the House is here. The national chairman of the party that requires explanation from INEC is sitting here. You do require explanation. Because I actually listened very well. Mr. President, in the legal terminology, what they were saying is that we should shift the burden of proof from the person who won the election to the person who conducted the election. Because in spite of all your losses, in spite of the fact that you won Ebonyi State hands down. I don't think they gave you 15%. That's the truth. In spite of all your efforts to turn around the economy of the Southwest, particularly Lagos, they said in the general election, conducted the same day, that you did not win Lagos. So that's what he was saying. I think that has worried a lot of legal minds, that they must explain to you whether somebody was intentionally trying to cheat you from becoming president of Nigeria, but God did not allow it. So, the Deputy Senate President, my brother, the Deputy Speaker, distinguished leaders of the National Assembly, whilst respecting the ministers and others and other protocols, I must pay tribute to my royal fathers who are here. From the Emir of Kano, to the Emir of Gazaure, to His Royal Highness the TINUBU, and even to the other highness, the minority leader of the Senate, who is sitting there, crossing his leg, Abba Moro. I hope you listen. This discussion and our takeaway from here is for us to go and implement. My distinguished colleagues and House of Reps members and all Nigerians. Well, sir, I had a paper to deliver, but when I saw the speech, extempo delivered by the very brilliant mind, Oliza Bakoba, I decided to drop my paper. So that it would not. I give you only one example of a parasata. I was Minister of Niger Delta, sir. The NDDC, under me, abandoned 1,400 and something projects. This one will start and stop. This one will start and stop. This one will start and stop. So when he mentioned that Nigeria has about 1,600 abandoned projects, it means that 1,400 are in the Niger Delta. That's the truth. And if you are talking about indebtedness, sir, they are owing 1.9 trillion to contractors. So when people bring papers and say, oh, I have not been able to get my money in 11 years, I say, how much? They said, I'm being owed 2 billion. I said, it is actually 1.9 trillion that we need to even clear. Nobody will remember you. It's too small. My uncle warned me and said, Godswill, if somebody slaps you while going to secondary school in Port Harcourt, slap the person back, don't leave it for God. Because on that day, when we get to heaven, there will be so many things for God to judge that he may forget that somebody actually slapped you. So those who are being owed should know that Nigeria is in such the indebtedness in Nigeria is such that if you are being owed a small amount, don't go to the president, don't come to me, because we have enough debts to think of. So because of that, I became a tough boy. So if you slap me, I slap you back, because my uncle said, don't leave it for God. Because I don't want that part to be forgotten when we get to paradise. So I want to thank the organizers for this colloquium. Of course, intended to rejig not just the memories of what we know already, that this government is a corrective government. I have already said the centerpiece of our legislative agenda, which my brother, the Speaker of the House, launched the other day, is nothing but people-centered. Ours is to think of the people of Nigeria that gave us this enormous responsibility and such a rare privilege for us to look into their affairs. I come from a traditional institution. When the white people came and they could not find emirs and obas in the southeast, combined then with south-south, they picked strong people who were administering their localities well. And my grandfather, the father of my father, AKPABIO, was installed a warrant chief in 1901. He made sure that his domain, though he had these people wearing khaki up and down and all that, he had like a court, he used to sit in what they call NA, Native Authority, but he did very well, and there was peace. Even if a goat strayed from somebody's house, they would take the goat back to him in the evening. He would send the village on to drum around and ask somebody, are you missing your goats? But I know that by the time I got to secondary school, if somebody's goat should stray into Federal College, that goat that goat will find its way into a pail in the bush, already being cooked as pepper soup. So the question is that Nigerians have somehow lost values. And they say in the computer, they say garbage in, garbage out.